our state is in great disarray. If you want Connecticut to be dead last for job growth and production, you should vote for Jody Rell. If you're proud of having the worst transportation system in the country, you should vote for Jody Rell. If you're proud of our college system becoming one of the most expensive, when you put room and board together, and state colleges having one of the most expensive college systems in the country, you should vote for Jody Rell. If you think that we should be more dependent on property taxes than any other state in the nation, then you should vote for Jody Rell. In '84, not so far from here, they built drainage systems to nowhere. Right? In New Haven, not far from here, you have a multi-million-dollar project that's looking at $350 million in excess cost. On Route 7, not far from here, right, where all this is a small state, they changed the course of a road because of salamanders. Except they didn't chart it out properly. They never needed to change the road in the first place. Now, I'm all for environmentalism, by the way, but get it right the first time. Don't spend millions of dollars in changing the course of the road and then realize that you made a mistake. First and foremost, as I told you, we support education 13% less than the national average. That was not always the case. There's a promise out there that the state was going to pay 50% of local educational costs. They now pay about 33%, 34%. The difference is your property taxes. It's not as if your taxes aren't going up one way or the other, it's that they're going up on property taxes, which is really quite destructive in many different ways, particularly for our senior citizens and those people who are trying to get into the housing market. Other states have found ways. Direct allocation of a portion of the income tax to the community in which the person resides. Direct allocation of a portion of the energy cost. You know, right here, you have a prison, which is a huge user of electricity and other power. In many other states, some portion of the utility bill taxes would stay in the community in which that utility is used. It doesn't happen in this state. Sales tax share doesn't happen in the state. There's lots of ways to get to a point where we're less reliant on property taxes. Now, a broader question. We're in the middle of a very difficult economy. But we're going to have years of difficulty ahead of us. We need good leadership. I will tell you that we're probably going to have to take a different approach. We're going to have to raise more revenue. I'm the only candidate, Democratic candidate, who says that that's in some form going to be a more progressive income tax. Now, I have measurements. It can't make us less competitive than our surrounding states or those states we can compete with. It can't get to this high rate, instantly. But the reality is, and we're Democrats, we might as well tell one another the truth. We're going to have to raise revenue, at least temporarily, with higher rates to get through this crisis. Final statistic. We could lay off every state worker right now, and we'd still be in deficit in the next 2 years. So of course we're going to need leadership to get us out of that. And of course a portion of that answer is going to be additional revenue. And the equal answer should be that we've got to downsize government. We've got to find efficiencies. Final thing I'll tell you about that. DSS is now the largest department in the state, spending 14% of all expenditures on the state's part. We have two auditors, a Republican and a Democrat in the state that are appointed for terms. They audit together. 3 years ago, they made a series of 14 recommendations at DSS. They went back 3 years later, just issued a report 2 or 3 weeks ago. None of their major recommendations had been implemented, leaving tens of millions of dollars uncollected by state government. We leave hundreds of millions of dollars on the table in Washington because this governor is philosophically opposed. All right? She would rather cut dental care than to go to Washington and get more money for dental care and have to match it by 20%. It is wrong. It is time for a change. The Democrats are going to finally do it. We're going to elect somebody. I'd love to have your support. That's why I'm here. Thank you very much for